Hey, so welcome to chapter 6 of The Great CEO Within. Let's put this aside and get into the meat of the issue. So, chapter 6, remember this series is called Building an Executive Mindset, or maybe I'll change it to Building a Productive Mindset. But executive still gets the point. Okay, so on time and present, how should you think about your time and present moments? That's what this chapter is about. It says, remember, this chapter is under another chapter called Personal Habits. Okay, as we are building habits for executive functioning, and executives are successful people. So people have succeeded in various respects. In this case, we're talking about chief executive officers, CEOs. So successful CEOs have a different perspective on time than many other people. So we want to understand that mindset. What do they think about time? This is from a CEO coach telling us it is critical to be on time for every appointment that you have made. I once walked into a meeting late and then the person told me, never do that again. Always make sure you are in the meeting room 15 minutes, even though it's an online meeting. Make sure you are in the room 15 minutes before the start of that meeting, unless the meeting isn't starting, but just be in the waiting room at least 15 minutes before it starts. It's a good place to be, especially in high stakes meeting. So be on time for appointments, right? And to let the others involved in the meeting know that you will be late as soon as you realize it. Okay, this is you want to be responsible for other people's time. You want to show that you respect, you understand, and you appreciate the time they've taken to want to talk to you in the first place. So you want to acknowledge that by showing up early. This is common decency, yes, but it has a greater importance. There is someone else on the side of your agreement to start the meeting at a certain time. Like I said, you want to show you appreciate that person. They have stopped what they were working on to attend the meeting on time. If you do not show up on time, they cannot start the meeting, but they also cannot leave because they don't know if you'll show up the next minute or not. So you do not want to put other people in a bad position where, oh, they're thinking about, do I leave or not? And if I leave, is it going to come in the next minute? You don't want to do that to other people. It's not courtesy to do that. So each minute, especially if you're working with a CEO, God help you. You're keeping your CEO waiting. That's a terrible habit, man. You don't want to do that. So it says each minute that they are away from their work is a minute of productivity that you have stolen from them. Imagine someone being paid per hour and then they agree to come to a meeting with you for 1 hour. Oh, wow. And then you delay them for 10 minutes and they're just thinking for that 10 minutes, how do I deal with this? You've wasted 10 minutes of their time, right? It says this is not only disrespectful, but also counterproductive for that other person. And it's also going to be counterproductive for you. If there's a reason to do that, then you want to let them know ahead of time. If they are a customer, investor, or recruit, they will not engage with your company. If they report to you, they will keep quiet but resent you. There is no winning scenario when you waste someone's time. Let's highlight this. There is no winning scenario where you waste someone's time. You don't want to be that kind of person. But life happens. A previous call or meeting may run late. Traffic doesn't always cooperate. Even with careful planning, it's not possible to be on time for every meeting. The good news is that you don't need to be. What does it say here? It says it is only critical to let the other members of the meeting know that you will be late as soon as you realize that you will be. And you must come to this realization and let the other attendees know before the meeting starts through whatever channel will get to them the fastest. Ideally, you'd let them know about the delay before they have to break away from whatever they are doing before the meeting. So if you're going to inform someone of that delay, you want to do it like an hour before, so you can give them um, time to sort of like take a break and adjust their schedule. So so you want to be that kind of person who respects other people's time. I think I recently did something where someone called my attention. I was going to be in a meeting. Honestly, I was going to be in a meeting, but then I figured out I couldn't do this other thing I wanted to do for my friend if I was in that meeting, and I couldn't be in that meeting, and or I couldn't be with my friend and still be in that meeting. So vice versa, it was a losing scenario. So I just said I'm going to be with my friend, but then I need my assistant to step in for me. It ended up being a wrong decision because sadly my assistant wasn't very cooperative. Uh, I still hold that position even though I just had to let it go. But if you the point here is that you always have to be in a position where you let people know ahead of time. And for me, because I didn't let her know ahead of time, it even became a fish used against me. So if it to be used against you, if you're the person who is committing that error, but then sometimes life happens. So you have to. So it's always better if you give an advance in that situation. Sometimes life happens, but I hope you just get what I'm talking about and always give the advance. It's a better situation, so you don't get into a situation where you're being accused of delaying other people's time or disrespecting people's time. So in addition to being on time, you must also be present. So present isn't merely physically present, but also committing your psychology, your head into the engagement. Okay, being present means that you are composed, prepared, and focused on the subject matter. Right. It can take a few minutes to get present, that is, prepare for the meeting, research the topic and the attendees, go to the bathroom between back-to-back meetings, get a drink slash snack, and so on. Therefore, I recommend that you plan to arrive to an outside meeting 15 minutes before it is scheduled to begin. Remember, I said in my previous video, like you have to do, is it previous video, or even in this video, you have to do 15 minutes, even in virtual meetings, you have to be in the room 15 minutes waiting to be let in if the room is not open. So 15 minutes is a good amount of time to work with, right? So you want to be 15 minutes. Mochary says, I recommend 15 minutes. Do it with 15 minutes. So for a meeting in your office, wrap up your current project or previous meeting 5 to 10 minutes prior to the scheduled time for the next meeting. To make this easy, I recommend scheduling 25 to 50 minutes 25 to 50-minute meetings only. Google Calendar even has an automated setting for this. Yeah, there's an automated setting. So you need 15 minutes to prepare for 25 to 50-minute meetings. Then this will give you 5 minutes each half hour and 10 minutes each hour to maintain yourself. So if you have like multiple meetings in a day and you cannot separate them, it says wrap up your current project or previous meeting 5 to 10 minutes prior to the scheduled time for the next meeting. So that 5 to 10 minutes is in addition to the 15 minutes preparation time you need. So that's 5 to 10 minutes for a 15 minutes preparation time. That's roughly 25 minutes ahead of your next meeting, which is 25 to 50 minutes. So you need a 25 minutes break, total minutes break for every 1 hour meeting that you have. That's like a good estimate. So this will give you 5 minutes each half hour and 10 minutes each hour to maintain yourself. Okay. So when in a meeting, I often see CEOs making the mistake of constantly checking their messages. Don't do that. They cannot get away from being on, even for, if even for a second. This is not only disrespectful, but it defeats the purpose of the meeting. So you want to be fully committed. I had an executive that used to do that to me a lot. She would come into the meeting and then she'll be attending to multiple things at the time. And you wouldn't say anything, but you just know how ineffective that is because while you are committed to that meeting and she's attending to multiple things at the same time while still talking to you, it's distracting for you and also distracting for her. Like just have 1 hour of total focus productive meeting, and it's better off than having 2 hours of distracted meetings or distracted conversations. So it says it defeats the purpose of the meeting, which is collaboration with the attendees present. Collaboration. Okay, the purpose of the meeting is collaboration. Every meeting in some sense is collaboration. Okay, that's the thing we want to underline here. It's collaboration. Every meeting is somehow collaboration. It sends a message that the meeting's content is relatively unimportant if you are not focused. That's the only thing you're saying. It's not important. Furthermore, it also breeds a bad habit for the entire company. It affects work culture. If you are the CEO who's always doing that, you're going to have to put negatively affect the morale of the entire team. So if you have other things that will distract you, just give it over to your operations person, chief of staff, or virtual slash executive assistant, so that you can be fully present and give your team the best of yourself. So if you are an executive assistant like me, then you have to keep every other thing aside and then just go full on and be committed to serving your executive with the best of your version of yourself. During every meeting, leave your phone in your pocket or face down. Yeah, I know that one, face down. Okay, sticking with the strategies in chapter 4, inbox zero. Okay, you take things that are next action, take things that are waiting for you, take things that are someday, or maybe things like that. Use other labels, agenda and so on, will help you to focus on your meetings and make the most of your assembled and expensive talents. Imagine that your CEO is a 2 hour um, paid professional consultant. I said 2 hour, like $2K. They're paid $2K per hour. Then you're working with that kind of person, that caliber of person, and what do you do? Anyway, there are people who earn like 250,000 per hour, but the 2K per hour is a very huge deal. But if you're working with someone like that and your own per hour rate is like, especially if you're offshore, your per hour rates could be like $10 per hour, $15 per hour, and God help you, you're not even further down the line, working for like $3 per hour, and then your CEO is like $2,000 per hour. So that is way multiples of what you're earning. So you do not want to mismanage that kind of person's time, right? So it says you have to manage time properly, have a great personality mindset when it comes to time, respect other people's time, and as much as possible, ensure they respect yours. And if the meeting is not efficient, then make it so. Okay, see chapter 21. In chapter 21, he's going to tell us how we can turn inefficient meetings into efficient ones. So this is the end of chapter 6 reading.